morning guys, it's Pip here. So today I just want to do a very short video about knowing what you want. So when you're going through some changes in life, it's very important to know which direction you want to go in. As is said so often, it's very difficult to hit a target when you don't know what that target is. And I think the problem that we have in our society is so often we're told that we need to expect certain things. So we need to earn a lot of money to be successful. We need to have a prestigious maybe name badge or position within our company. We need to have a house and 2.4 kids and all that sort of thing, and a certain type of car and all that sort of nonsense really. Unfortunately, particularly in the Western world, we live in a very judgmental society. So a lot of people, for example, are a little bit short-sighted. They look at someone who's got a Jaguar or a BMW or a Mercedes, and they go, wow, that person must have money. In my experience, a lot of the people who have BMWs, Mercedes, Jaguars, that sort of thing, they're actually company cars. And so we have to be careful about what we really judge to be our perception of success. Because if you really do own a Jaguar, for example, and say you do have a prestigious position in your company, but you're working sort of 70 hours a week and you're not really enjoying your job, although you're bringing in the money, you're not seeing your family as much as you would like, or when you do, you're not having quality time with them, because maybe you are booking holidays with them and going off several times a year, but it's not really quality time because you haven't built up that relationship in between those holidays. Is that really our version of success? And so when you're planning for whatever is the next phase in your life, you really need to be aware of this. Now for me, for example, I like to follow Tony Robbins. So Tony Robbins said to me, think of one area of your life that you are happy in and why you're happy, and then think of one area in your life that you're not happy in. And the reason why you're happy or you're not happy in those particular areas of life is because your blueprint, your kind of makeup as to what you think life should be about, it matches where you are in your life. So for me, for example, I know one thing that I really need to pick up on is being more financially minded. So obviously when we have a business, it does help. I've never been financially minded. I was quite lucky, my parents always taught me to save, but certainly didn't talk to me about things like investments, whether that was investing in yourself or investing financially or investing in property, or whether it was anything else that could be considered an asset. So it can be a little bit difficult, and I certainly also wasn't taught about careers and things like that. That was a huge mistake that I think I've made in my life. For example, this year I've had about 10 different jobs. I left my old job. I suffer with my hands. I have poor circulation, and working outside, it's I lived in it and worked in a beautiful area, a fantastic staff, but the job that I was in, I knew I could do more. I was a cleaner, and despite walking around a beautiful environment every day, my hands were beginning to suffer with the cold. They go very red, they get chilblains, it can be quite itching and painful at times. They take a long time to warm up, and that combined obviously with cleaning chemicals that were eco-friendly but obviously can still get on your hands and still cause damage to your hands, was not doing me very much good at all. I was wearing gloves. I was wearing quite often several pairs of gloves, and even that wasn't doing the trick. I was still at times experiencing quite a lot of pain. So this year, as I say, I've had 10 different jobs as a result to try and get out of that really, and also to find out what I do want to do in my life. And having gone through 10 different jobs and having various phases where I've been out of work or not been able to find work, or have been having to wait for things like DBS checks and things like that, it's been a struggle, and obviously I haven't done as financially well as perhaps I could have done had I stayed in just one job. But here's the thing I want to put to you, and I want just to leave you with a little bit of a story, so that maybe you can think about more what success means to you. So this is a story that happened from a part of my life this year. So I landed a job that was going to pay me more than I'd ever been promised to be paid before. A lot of money per day, and I would only have to work 2 days out of 4 in a month to make an income, and as I say, even at that, a much better income than I'd ever had before. So this job was being a living carer, and obviously I'm going to protect my client. I'm not going to tell you her name or too much about her, but I was working for a lady, and I think due to this lady's care package, she was very particular about certain things, and you know, it was so, I don't think it was, the word difficult is the word I want to use, but as I say, she was extremely particular. I mean, you're trying to learn a whole person's new routine in a day, and they're extraordinarily, as I say, good at concentrating on the smaller details, and because that's obviously what matters to them, then it can be quite stressful. And I remember at one point the other carer who was trying to teach me was there, and I was just having a bit of downtime really to myself. And I remember looking in the mirror at myself and going, Pip, is this what you want to do? And my head was going like this. And I was like, hang on, I'm going to ask myself again, because this is a lot of money, and I haven't earned a lot of money this year. And one part of my brain was telling me I needed the money. I said, Pip, is this what you want to do? And I went, and it's really odd, because logic would have said to me, that job's fantastic. It's not that difficult. You're with a lady who, I'm sure you'll get to know in time, and you've got a dry roof over your head. You're not having to commute to work today, so you're saving money in that. You're getting paid for your food, and you've got a lot of time to yourself. And on paper, all the things seemed right. And I don't know to this day quite what it was that made me think this isn't for me. But there was just something there that told me this wasn't for me. Although all the indicators would have pointed at being successful. And I really want you to consider that, because I'm not sure what it was at that point that made me sort of feel that way or have that. It was kind of coming from my subconscious. And as a result, I did decide to leave that job. I was like, do you know what? I've always been told to follow my gut instinct. I've done it before, and then things have happened in a place where I would have been had I not made any changes. And I'm like, well, thank goodness that something told me to make a move or to make a change, because I would have been there, and that would have been me. That whatever it was would have happened to. And I really think that it's more important to have something that you're passionate about than something that pays you a lot of money. And I know that's not fitting in with Western society expectations, but at the end of the day, you do have to live your life. And I think at that point, the job was okay, but it wasn't my passion, and that's what I set out to do. And I think that's why I was like, no, this is not it. There's going to be a lot of jobs out there that are okay. There's going to be a lot of jobs out there that pay you a lot and are okay, and will probably pay you more than your dream. But at the end of life, this is going to sound really a bit bizarre, and it's something that I'm still coming to terms with. At the end of life, you have to look life in the face and say that you lived. And I think that so many people fear death because they haven't lived, and I'm not going to fit into that category. I'm not that person. I'm not, if for whatever reason my life was cut short, say today, then I hope that people would go, well, her life was cut a bit short, but you know what, she did make an attempt to live. And I hope for that reason that I would go without that fear, knowing that even if I didn't try and make all my dreams and ambitions come true, I at least made a start, and I at least tried. And you know what? I've just had a look at the finances. Yes, I've earned slightly less, actually only slightly less, than I would have had I followed in the job that I left in February, which was really surprising to me, and which I'm really grateful for. And I think in terms of this year, although financially it's not been the best, in terms of personal development, it's been amazing, and I know that will stand me in such great stead for many times in the future. I feel that at some point all the things I've learned will be of benefit to me. I may not know when that is yet, but I feel that they are lessons I've learned for life. And money comes in and money goes out, but lessons that you learn are there for you, with you forever. So that's all from me today, and I'll see you next time. You take care. Bye bye now.